Okay, this is super exciting. In this video, we're going to publish our game. You're going to publish your game to the internet using the Unity WebGL build. This is my game currently online. We're sharing it at sharemygame.com. That's a site that we've created for you so that you can host your game absolutely free for 30 days on sharemygame.com. So this is the game currently working online and available to whoever we want to share it with. So let's get your game published and online. First step, we need to adjust our aspect ratio. We've been a little bit naughty. We just shoved it at 1080 to make sure that it didn't move around when we scrolled, but that's not going to work so well when we want to get this on the internet, on a website. So step one is to change, first of all, our aspect ratio to 16:9, which is the same as 1080, but it's saying it can be any 16:9. It doesn't have to be specifically 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080. You can see that our camera is now tiny. Doesn't quite make sense in the context of our game. This is what we see. Over on to click on Canvas, left side over here, click on Canvas. You'll see under Canvas Scaler, a couple of options. Currently we have UI scale mode at constant pixel size. We want to click on that and change it to scale with screen size. Now our reference resolution is going to be 1920 by 1080 because that's what we've been building our game at. You can see now our canvas fits nicely around our 1920 this way and 1080 that way, and it fits in lovely. So as we scale our screen, move it around, no problemo. That's going to mean it's going to fit no matter what size someone is viewing it at. Okay, so let's save that. Control S to save, now that we've tidied up our aspect ratio. Next step is to jump up top left to File and scroll down to Build Settings. Under Build Settings, we see options for what we can build our game as. If you don't see WebGL as an option, that means that when you installed Unity, you didn't install WebGL. No problem. Go over to Unity Hub, click on Installs, find the version of Unity that you're using, click on the three little buttons to the right, and Add Component, and then you can see all the installation options that we previously had, and scroll down until you see WebGL Build Support. If you don't have that clicked, click on that, and then you'll need to do a little bit of downloading and installing, and possibly restarting Unity, I believe. But if you have it installed, or once you have it installed, click on WebGL. You can see that we've got one scene in our build, which is our sample scene here. It's build index 0. We're going to be having a lot more scenes in the upcoming section of the course. That is going to be excellent as well. For now, we've just got the one, and all we need to do is click on Build and Run. And we save it to a particular spot. Ignore my folder there, that's secret stuff. We will create, I'm just saving this to my download folder. You can save it wherever you want. I will give myself a new folder. I will call this folder Text 101 Rick version. Actually, that's a pretty dumb name, isn't it? Because our game's called The Injured Pilot. So that is what we should call it. We shouldn't call it the section of a course. We should call it the actual game. So double click on the Injured Pilot, or whatever you're calling your game. Hopefully you've come up with a nifty name. Select folder. And now that is where we are going to build and run to. It's already been selected. We were just doing that last step of selecting the folder. This will take a while, between 1 or 5 minutes, depending upon the speed of your computer and how much stuff you've got in your game. So while this is building, let me take you through a couple of other things just very briefly. First briefly thing I'll show you is if at any point you get stuck on building to WebGL, I've given you a link in the resources to our Unity docs for WebGL. Now this process, if you read through, you can see that there's some caveats. It will work on this, it won't work on that. It won't work on a lot of mobile devices, Android and iOS. So there's some rules in here about what it will work on. Some of the later things are supported, some aren't. But for what we are doing now, which is just getting this game to be hosted on a website so someone can open their browser and play it, it will serve us very nicely. The other thing I want to show you is sharemygame.com. Again, I've given you a link in the resources. This is our Game Dev TV hosting location that we provide for you free of charge because we love you being part of our community and want to see your games and what you've been up to. Sharemygame.com. You can come over here and host your WebGL build. Pretty straightforward. You make a build, you zip it, that's important, and then you upload it. So we're in the process of making a build. Let's see how my build is coming along here. Okay, a little bit more stalling I need to do. While I'm stalling, I'll show you our challenge for this lecture. Publish and share your game online. And I want you to celebrate if this is your first ever game you've published online. That is a huge step. This might not be an award-winning game, but this is massive in terms of you taking the steps to creating great games that people are going to love. So this is super exciting. Create a WebGL build, which we have done already. publish to sharemygame.com, which I'll do in a moment when my build finishes building. Copy the link to your game. Super important that you don't accidentally click away from the link, and I'll take you through that step nice and slowly when we get to it. But once you've got the link, you can share that with your friends, take it to your grandmother and say, hey, check out this link, and she'll look at it and she'll be amazed, hopefully. Share your game to at least one location: Facebook, Game Dev TV community site, Discord site. Seriously, honestly, we love to see what you've created. People in the community love to see what you have created. It's a great way for you to be courageous and say, here's what I did, here's my approach, here's what here's my creativity, and have people give you feedback on it and be ready for that feedback. Some people will just say, hey, good work, and encourage you and support you for just publishing it. Other people will say, this is amazing. Other people will say, this is a big piece of garbage. And be ready for it. Don't take it personally. Listen to what people have to say. And if you're in the early stages of your development process, just take it as a learning journey. I get people telling me on a daily basis, this thing I've done is really garbage and crappy, and I can't believe I married you, Rick. Wait a minute, a little bit too much information. So anyway, just be ready for feedback. This is Rick Comedy Hour today, isn't it? Okay, back to our build. It's still building. So what I might do is just pause the video at this point and let the rest of my build do its building, and you do the same. Take a break, have a cup of coffee, do some stretching, and when our games have built, we will host it. Now, immediately after the build has built, because we clicked build and run, it is running locally. This is not hosted online anywhere yet, but it's showing us what we would see if and when we host it to a website. We can see that it's our game, and I can cycle through my options here and check everything out. Now, I haven't gone through and looked for bugs. There's going to be bugs the very first time you publish something, so expect that. And if you are really passionate about getting your game to be bug-free, then yeah, this is a great chance to dive in and find those bugs and fix them. But for now, in terms of the course, we've covered what we want to cover for the course. So I'm not going to go and hunt down all the bugs. But if you find anything and you find solutions, then please do share with our community, so anyone who's looking to have their game bug-free can resolve that as well. Now, back into Unity, actually back into my folder structure, back into Windows Explorer or Apple Explorer. Is that what it's called? I don't think it is. I think it's called something even niftier. But find the folder where you saved your build and zip that up. So a couple of ways to do that. We talked about just dragging it and adding to archive if you've got a tool to do that, or right-click and send to compressed zip folder. That's another way to zip up your folder here. So we've zipped up that folder, Injured Pilot. That's a good name, very excellent. Over to sharemygame.com over here. You can see our options. Our steps. Step number 3 is upload your game. Click on that button, find your zip file, your zip folder here, the Injured Pilot. Double click on that. This shouldn't take too long, maybe up to 30 seconds or a minute, depending again on how big your game is. It's going to upload, it will process, it will take care of all the inner workings of getting our game hosted online. And now, I mentioned this earlier, the super important step, there will be a link coming up soon. Don't click away and don't accidentally lose that link. This is your one chance to grab it. It's not going to go flying, no need to stress, but just make sure you copy the link when this process finishes so that you can share the link, copy it for now and paste it into a file, into a notepad file if you like, or maybe even bookmark the link. That's probably the smart way to do it, isn't it? Okay, again, I'm going to pause, give it a moment, and I'll be back when the processing is finished. And of course, each time I say that and pause the video, 2 seconds later, it finishes doing what it's supposed to do. So it's loading into our game. You can see the link up here, sharemygame.com, share, and then all this stuff. This is what we want to copy. So I'm going to copy that now. Hey presto, here is our game. Let's just check that it works in full screen. It does. Keys move us forward. Wonderful. I'm going to escape out of that. Great. You can see a couple of easy buttons on the left here if you want to share to your Facebook friends to get some feedback on your game. It's great to get feedback, or even to brag, hey, look, I made this thing, to Twitter, and importantly, to our community site. If you click on this green button just here, or I'll also give you a link in the resources against the lecture discussions. But if you click there, that will take you to the community site, and you can share it straight away. So here is the link to my text adventure game I just uploaded. I'd love your feedback. And then paste the link. And so that is it. That's the process of you publishing your game. Just a reminder of our challenge. Let me just rip up my screen here a little bit. So we've gone through the process: build your game, share your game, link to the game, share on at least one place. Please let us know about it. I've also given you a link to the Discord chat server. Lots of lovely folks over there ready to celebrate your success. Be ready for feedback, positive and negative, and give yourself a massive high five. Open up your window, yell out to the world, "I published my game!" because this is really very significant in your journey as a game developer, and it will get better and better and better, but this is a very big first step in terms of publishing your games. So great work, well done, and I will see you guys in an upcoming video.